Honestly, this has never happened to me before. I've never made a silly mistake like this, and those are the worst kind of mistakes because you know you can't blame anybody else but yourself. All right, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know it's been a while since I've made one of these videos, but I think it was about time. There's been a lot of changes in what I've been doing on social media and all that stuff, but we are back here to talk about basically what had happened to me this week in terms of how the trading week went, and also talk about the new series that I have started on my Instagram and other social medias, like the short form content, as well as this war market, which is kind of crazy. So yeah, I don't want to sit here and talk too much. As always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, send this to a friend who is also on their trading journey. Let me know in the comments how your trading journey is going. Make sure you join the Discord with the link in the description if you're looking for a Discord community to join. I will explain everything on the Discord once I get to the Discord portion of the video and all that stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I have to say. Let's get into the sponsor of this video, and don't forget to stay till the very end where you will see the balance of the funded account challenge that I'm doing. Make sure you stick around for that. It will be at the end where I will show it. Apart from that, let's go straight into the sponsor of this video and then the Discord. Alrighty, now the sponsor of this video, as always, is Tektronix.com. If you're looking for the best quality PC with the best parts in the market at the best prices, make sure you check out Tektronix PCs. They've done everything that has to do with my setup, and as you can see, I'll put a video up here somewhere where you could see the build that they had helped me with. Make sure you use the discount code LVFLIP for 10% off, and if you go on their website, I'm just going to do a brief overview of it. You can just hit shop now and it will bring you up to the Futures Setup LVFLIP, which is a very valid PC. I know it says mostly for trading, but you could probably end up using this for other things as well. This is actually the same case that I have, and they even have free shipping and payment options if you want to pay in installments and stuff like that. So make sure you go ahead and check them out. Check them out on Instagram and everything like that. You could also contact them in order to build your own PC. The link is down in the description, so go ahead and check them out. Now, very quickly, we're gonna bring up the YouTube channel. I want to thank you so much for 1742 subscribers. But probably by the time you watch this video, we'll probably be at 1750. So thank you so much for that. I'm extremely grateful for each and every single one of you who end up just hitting the subscribe button or just hitting a like on one of the videos that you see me in. It is extremely fulfilling and shows me that I'm doing the right thing and that I should continue. First, I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So thank you for that, Jesus, and also thank you for, being a part of it. Now let's head into the Discord. And now, as you can see, this is the Discord. If this is the first time that you're watching one of my videos or have come into the Discord, you would understand that I had made a very big change to the Discord. So make sure that when you do join, you hit the mandatory read and read all of this, because it will outline how the Discord works. I'll go into it briefly here, but basically there's a free section, which is just people who just want to join. There's a couple things in there for them that they have access to. Then there's the active war room members, which I'll just give you a slight overview of what happened last time we were talking on Friday. And this is the chat where it's only the members who are extremely active. If you're active in the group chat, then you will get put into this, because it's only the serious traders, the people who are actually taking it for real, not just anybody who's just in there because they want to freeload or they just don't want to miss out on potentially getting some type of information. The people in here are actually trying to learn and are actually trying to become better traders. And the only way that you could join this section of the Discord is by being active. And then obviously there's the premium chat, which if you are looking to join the premium, you just go down here and you hit join war room. There's also testimonials and all that. I am not doing any one-on-ones because I'm focused on myself and the premium, but apart from that, maybe later on in the future, if you have any questions or anything like that, you can go ahead and send it here in the free Discord, DM me on Instagram, or just DM me on Discord. Apart from that, that's pretty much everything I have to say about the Discord. The link is down in the description, and if you have any questions, you already know what to do. Now let's head to the actual video. All right, so as you can see here, there's a couple drawings in here, but we are in a war market. That's why it looks kind of crazy. We ended up having a Tuesday low of week all the way up to a Wednesday high of week, and then we're basically just ranging on the higher time frame if you really pay attention. It looks even worse on ES if you bring up ES, and my ES also has a bunch of drawings, but if you pay attention, we're just ranging. It's not really picking a definitive side, but I think if you get good at trading these conditions, then you're going to be good at trading when we get back to regular conditions, if we ever do go back to regular conditions with everything that's going on in the world right now. But apart from that, you do have to adapt to what the market is doing, and the best traders are going to adapt. And I think that the experience that I am getting personally from trading these markets is going to help me within any market that I trade, no matter what. Let's go into the days of the week and the trades that I took. And as always, every trade that I take is going to be in one of the corners. I don't know which one it is. I think it's in that corner over there, but you will see the video actually pop up of what I posted on my social media. Make sure you follow me at LewisVisuals_ on Instagram and LewisVisuals on TikTok, where you will see the short form content of the trades that I take every single day. You'll see them on Instagram. But let's head straight into Monday the 2nd. Alrighty, so here on Monday the 2nd, I actually ended up taking a loss. lost, and it's because I went back to something that I was previously using that I stopped using, but I came back and I was like, why did I not use that? And it's not like I changed strategies or anything like that. It's more like a confluence, and I was like, okay, I need to go back to using this the right way that it's supposed to be used and keep using it in the strategy that I'm using, and it has helped me a lot, and you'll see by the results at the end of the video. Make sure you stick around. But right here on this day, we ended up having a rejection block that we came down into during London, which was a valid low of day, and then obviously at the open just opened up and went all the way up. I think I was taking shorts after we took out this high or something like that. I can't remember. The video is gonna pop up here somewhere. Oh yeah, Monday was the day that my girl actually had a procedure on her foot, so I was with her most of the day. I wasn't really paying attention to what I was doing in the market, so I didn't actually get to upload. I don't believe I uploaded a video on Monday, but I think I was taking shorts up here, which is kind of stupid because price is telling us that we're going higher. Specifically, I think I took a short from like here, maybe got stopped out break even and then lost after, or took a short here and then just kept trying to short. But obviously we were targeting these highs with us, you know, creating low of day and then respecting this 1 hour gap to then continue higher. I just framed this. I didn't take this long, but I was looking for a long off of this order block. They kind of went into the fair value gap that you see right there and then continued higher. But I do remember taking shorts. I think I took a short here somewhere and then a short like here, if I'm not mistaken, and got stopped out. And then this I took on paper, or I was trying to take on paper. I never took it. Took those 2 losses, and then I was like, okay, I'm done for the day, and was watching this, saw this order block kind of form here. They came back into it, then started to move up, obviously came back to it one more time and then continued the trend higher. I do remember taking shorts on this day, which I was like, okay, why did I do that? Because I was watching this stuff over here, the standard deviation as well as the rejection block as the low. We were respecting a 1 hour bullish PD array. Obviously no real good entries for longs after the 9:30 open, but still you can see bullishness either way, which is okay for that day. But let's just move on to Tuesday, because I didn't really have a good trading day on Monday either way. So let's go on to Tuesday. All right, here on Tuesday I was paying attention, right, and I remember taking a long in the pre-market while on paper because I was testing out the confluence that I was telling you guys about, and then ended up working again, right? So we end up coming down to this higher time frame rejection block, if I'm not mistaken. I think this is a daily or a 4 hour rejection block. I think it's a daily or 4 hour rejection block. It's a 4 hour rejection block. Obviously I haven't tapped the middle of it, which could be very useful for next week if we do come down, because it's generated liquidity there now that I'm looking at it. But on Tuesday I saw that we tapped into the rejection block. I'm like, okay, that could be lower week. Then we kind of changed trend and created order block. I'm like, all right, that's an order block. We come back to the order block in the pre-market and I take a long, and I was up about like 3k or something like that. I think I sent it's right here. I ended up taking it right here. As you can see, it was up at 1,000 basically before market opened. This is the same setup. As you can see, this is the order block that we came back into, and I took it on paper during the pre-market because I was like, I'm not too confident in the confluence that I'm using working in the pre-market, but it ends up working in the pre-market as well. But it just wasn't time to go up yet, so I end up taking the long there. And then the actual long that I took is this long, and as you can see, I was targeting the I think it was the weekly open as my target, and price literally reversed, went back to the standard deviation, swept liquidity, retapped the 4 hour rejection block, and then took off to the highs. And it's okay, it's just a losing day. You kind of have to just take it. As you can see here, I will explain what I did take, which was a trade off of the SNT that ended up being created here under this low, as well as respecting this fair value gap. I took the long there, stop below here, targeting the new week opening, obviously the opening price of the new week, and then it ends up turning around, taking me out break even. And as you can see, there is clear how do I put it, SMT here after that I marked, and we ended up going down to these lows. And I don't think I remember taking any other trades, but I think I was trying to take shorts in this area and got cooked. So I ended up losing 2 trades after this break even, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna call it a day. But as you can see, they just literally came back down to the standard deviation, swept liquidity, tap 4 hour order block, then they created an entry on an OTE basically. As you can see here, right here, as you can see, came back down to OTE, respected this fair value gap on the higher time frame, and then continue to move up. So the entry would have been somewhere inside of this higher time frame, and then have your stop obviously below here, which is a 32 point stop, which is valid. And then I would have honestly been targeting either this high or just the same target I was targeted before, and it would have been a fire trade. But I was already done for the day on that at that time at 10:56, and that's what I get for not being patient enough. So it's okay, it is what it is. You're not gonna have those days every day, but you have to just kind of go with it. And that is Tuesday the 3rd. Now let's just move on to Wednesday the 4th, and then we'll talk about all the trades that I took here. I ended up winning the last 3 days of the week, and I'll tell you what happened as well. So the previous account that I was using ended up getting breached just because of the BS that I was going through here, right? And I didn't have the best week the week before. This week messed me up, right? And not even in a bad way, because I kind of understood what was happening, but but it did cook me. I ended up breaching that account, so I was like, okay, let me just go buy another account. And I went and bought a new account, and I'm always fully transparent. I talked about it on my Instagram and everything, and I go check because I started trading with Lucid. I'm not associated with Lucid or anything like that, hopefully in the future, but I checked under my accounts and it said I had 2 accounts. I had one that was breached, which was obviously the one that got breached, and then one that was active. But this was after I had already bought a new account, and I'm like, why is this account there? And then I go check that it said active, and it was actually active. So then I ended up trading with it on Wednesday, and I was like, what the heck? I didn't even realize I had this account open. And then I ended up, just using that account. So that account is the one that you're gonna see at the end. But I guess I had traded with it last month, and then I don't know if I bought another account or why I would if it wasn't breached, but I have no idea. It was just there, right? So then we're gonna go talk about Wednesday, the 4th, right? So Wednesday, obviously paying attention to low of day being valid here in London. As you can see, we have swept Asia low. We are respecting this order block. We're respecting this fair value gap right here on the 15-minute. I'm like, okay, that's a valid low of day. So I was looking for the London high or Asia high of previous day, and then the Monday high as my targets. And I ended up closing a little early, which is fine. I'm not upset about it, but I was targeting the high of Monday, and you can see that in the Discord, in the active chat I was talking about. That was my target, but I just closed because I wanted a dub and called it a day, right? But when I came in, I was like, okay, what is it that we're targeting? We were very close to the Asia highs, so from experience I understood if we take out Asia high, we're probably gonna have a retracement. It's very rare. It happens sometimes, but it's very rare that we take out a session high and then just continue through it. We usually take it out and then it either consolidates a little bit, dumps, retraces, and then goes up, or it completely reverses. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna wait till open. I waited till open, and there was this 15-minute fair value gap in here that we were respecting. I think this gap here is an hourly, and then this is a 15-minute one, right? So then I went down into the 1 minute on Wednesday, and I was looking at it. I was paying attention, being very, very patient, right? So I think I took a short first just because I wanted to see what price was gonna do off of that Asia high, and I took a short in here. I think it was off of this fair value gap. Obviously we just swapped liquidity, CISD, fair value gap here, and I'm in longs, and then I get stopped out. After we get stopped out, I'm like, okay, they are clearly bullish. We're respecting this 15-minute fair value gap. This candle prints displacement, they go up and come back, right? And I was trying to wait, right, because I wanted to get an entry inside of this fair value gap here, and I ended up clicking it once it tapped it, and it filled me up here. So then I had my stop down here. The rest was kind of history. As you can see, it was moving annoying. It was being very annoying, right? So through this movement here, I cut my stop below here. Once we went up to this high, I moved to break even, and then dump, almost taking me out. I'm like, dang, I just lost out on a bunch of money that I could have took profit at right here. And then it turns around and keeps going. So at that point I was like, I'm not too confident in holding just because it's so annoying. But I guess I should have been like, okay, if they didn't continue dumping through here, they're gonna continue higher. That should have been my mindset, and should have held at least a runner and took four contracts off here, and then left one running to see if it gets up to the Monday high, and obviously it would have worked out. But with this movement, my emotions were just in check, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna take profit and call it a day. So that's what I did. Kind of happy that I did do it like that. Either way, I'm not upset. Made my money and got out of the market. But if you could maybe imagine in your head what the psychological story in my head was once we came down here, I was like, yeah, they're gonna take me out, and then they just turned around, right? So I'm kind of glad I just left it at break even. I didn't close it manually because of that. Now let's just move on to Thursday. This is the day where I made this craziest mistake that I was talking about in the beginning of the video, and it has never happened to me, and it will never happen to me again, because I will make sure that I have the correct levels, and I will explain the full thing to you so that you don't go through the same mistake that I just went through, right? Because it was annoying. It was very annoying, right? So I get this dub here Wednesday. Thursday comes by, and let's look at the picture. Let's look at the situation on Thursday, right? So here on Thursday, as you can see, I'm gonna mark out what I had marked out on that day, which is Thursday right here. I had this 4-hour fair value gap marked off. Boom. There you can see it. So for me on that day, I came in and I'm like, oh, we have tapped this standard deviation inside a 4-hour fair value gap. We're probably gonna end up retracing, right? So coming into the market open, I'm bearish. Obviously reacting to what market is doing, I flip bullish at the open because they're clearly going up, right? My target for that day was London high, as you can see here, but I made the silly mistake of not paying attention to what drawings I have drawn. So this line wasn't there. The only line that was there was this one, this 4-hour fair value gap. But in my my head, I thought that that line was the London High line that I had created, but I hadn't, which is the annoying part, right? So I enter longs clearly because we're bullish in the open. I see it as manipulation. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a long. Very clean entry, very clean opportunity to go long. So that's what I do. We come in at market open, well, right before market open, we sweep this sell side liquidity, start to reject it, and then at the open, just boom, pop up, right? And I believe I took a short, right? I took a short and then ended up getting stopped out break even. I'm like, all right, we're bullish because this is a 5-minute fair value gap. I'm like, we're bullish, or I could have just waited. Either way, we're bullish, right? So it took me out break even, though doesn't matter. I flipped my bias. I'm like, okay, I'm going towards the London high because it looks like that's what they're aiming for. So then they leave this big fair value gap. They come back into it. I take the entry there, stop below here, and we start to move up. Go break even after taking out this high. Starting to notice on ES that ES is lagging. I'm like, it's fine as long as ES is going towards a high, going up towards something, we should be valid. If there's a session SMT, obviously I'm gonna get out. And as you can see here, that high is this high. They end up taking it out on NQ. ES is still going up. I'm like, okay, that's fine. NQ is still rising, and as you can see, it pushes up past it. So I'm like, okay, we're definitely going towards London highs. And then in my head, I'm still thinking that that line that I drew, or that line that's up there, was the London high. So I'm like, okay, they come up here and they start to like play around here, and then they start to dump, and I'm like, they're just probably gonna come down to a fair value gap before after 10 o'clock open, and then they're gonna come up because there's no way they're gonna come this close to London highs and not sweep it to then reverse. But I didn't notice that they actually did sweep London highs. So then I'm like, oh, it's fine, I'm just gonna leave it open. And I left it open, and they started doing all this, and ultimately dump take me out break even, and I ended the day up $50 because I moved my stop up a little bit, right? But if I was paying attention and saw that, then I would have saw that, boom, that is just a 4-hour fair value gap. This line here is actually the London high, right, in my market. So if you could see, it was a winning trade. It's just my mistake, right? But I was targeting this. Would have triggered me, got me out, and I would have been done. But obviously, me being me, by accident forgot to do it. And then instead of doing the mature thing where it's like, okay, let me just check, and then after I realized, oh no, they actually did take out London high, let me close, boom, and start looking for shorts, that would have panned out because obviously there's shorts opportunities somewhere in here, right? I ended up losing that day, but I won on Wednesday, technically won here on this day, but in reality didn't because of the mistake. I would have been up crazy this week just off of this, because this was $1,100 that I was up. With the win on Tuesday, I think I was up like $600 or something like that because I was in the negative with this account, and then I think I won like $800 or something like that, so I was up $600, and I'm like, oh, so $600 plus 1.1 is 1.7, right? 1.7, and then I end up taking a win on 2 wins actually on Friday because I was just reading the market very well, and I still have to be accountable that I broke my rules, which is only take 2 trades per day, especially if you lose your first 2 trades, you're done. I made my money back on the 3rd trade, and then the 4th trade made bank, but I don't think that's very good habit wise. I don't think that's very good mature trading, if that makes sense. I think I should have just been done and called it a week there, but I was paying attention to what the market was doing, and I kind of saw clean setups, very calm clean setups at that. So I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna take them, and I took them, and boom, ended up winning the day. So let's pay attention here. Obviously I was bearish coming into the day, and I wanted to see what I was what market was gonna do at the open. So I take 2 shorts at the open, end up losing, right? So I'm down like, I think it was like 500, right? So like probably lost like 2 something and then 3 something on the trades. And then I'm like, okay, why am I taking shorts? There's nothing there telling me to go short. Why am I taking shorts? Is it just because I wanted to go lower, or am I reading that off the charts? And then I had to kind of like take a deep breath, and I was like, you know what, I'm just taking shorts because I feel like taking shorts. The market's not telling me that it's bearish, right? Then I pay attention to the standard deviation. I noticed that we had tapped the standard deviations, and then I'm like, okay, what have we done? What did we actually do? Let's pay attention here. Let's pay attention real quick. Let me zoom in so you guys can see everything, right? There is obviously I have to mark these because they're very important to the context of what was going through my head on this day, right? So I'm mostly bearish, but I'm like, okay, if I want to take shorts, I want to retrace a little higher. So I was paying attention to this fair value gap here. I'm like, if we get in this fair value gap and have a CISD to the downside, I'm going short. So let's pay attention. There's also a devil's mark. I'll show you that as well. The 15-minute, I hate when it does this, but if you pay attention, look at that 15-minute. There's no wick on the top. It's a devil's mark, meaning price most likely is going to come back up there. So with that in mind, I go into the market, and we get very close to the fair value gap, as you can see, but never tap it. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna keep watching. Then we clearly displace through, and then come down to sweep this liquidity. So I'm like, okay, we're probably just gonna come back up and then continue lower. But is the market telling me we're bearish? No, the market swept liquidity, left a liquidity level up here near a point of interest, which is the 15-minute fair value gap. So we have a sweep of liquidity here. This fair value gap is very important. What do we do here? Displace through it, inverse it. Why am I taking shorts there? I took a short there, boom, got stopped out. Then I take another short like here somewhere, and then that short was stupid. That was one of the stupidest trades that I took this week. Probably the stupidest trade that I took this week. There's no context. I was just like, oh, I think it's gonna go lower. Boom, let me enter short. Don't trade like that at all. Then I kind of came back to my senses, and I'm like, what am I doing? What is the market telling me? What am I doing? Kind of came back to my senses. Like, I was very calm. I was like, okay, take a deep breath. Everything's good. Let me just keep watching. Then I see, okay, what is this here? This is an order block. This candle took out liquidity, then displaced higher, right? What is the market basically doing? Boom, low to at the moment this high. I'll just place it here. Basically coming down to OTE. As you can see, respected OTE with the bodies. No matter what, bodies respected OTE. All right, I'm like, okay. Paying attention to ES. ES look a lot more bullish. ES look extremely bullish in my opinion. I'll let you go and look at it yourself for this day on Friday the 6th. All right, but ES looked extremely bullish. I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, whatever we do once we get back down here will determine. And then I see this big rejection, and I'm like, okay, they rejected this order block. They're bullish. Okay, there's generated buy side liquidity here. Boom, relatively equal highs with the point of interest being there as well. I'm like, okay, they're gonna go up to that fair value gap. Whether they continue up, I don't care. They're gonna go up to that. I'm looking at the risk to reward, and it's like, okay, I'm risking basically $200 to make 800. So I'm like, I'm gonna take it. And I took the trade, entered right here, and targeted just the fair value gap. Boom, made my money back in a little bit. I think it was like another like $200 or something. And I'm like, okay, I made my money back. I'm basically at break a little. I'm in the profit. I'm in profit, so I could play around a little bit more. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna keep watching. I'm gonna be extremely patient. And I said this in my Discord. I'm like, I'm gonna probably take one more trade, most likely done. But if I do take another one, I'm gonna be extremely patient. I'm not going to just take a trade just to take a trade. We tapped the 15-minute fair value gap, and then we dump. At that point, I'm like, okay, we tapped the 15-minute fair value gap, and we're dumping. We're most likely bearish because I still have the bearish mindset due to how we were moving on that day. Then I see what we do. I'm pretty sure there was an SMT. I'm gonna just check real quick. Oh, then I noticed this. This is what I noticed. I noticed that ES ended up taking out this low. That's a big liquidity level. We're most likely gonna retrace. So that is why I was so bullish. I was like, no, I'm bullish. But this kind of like had me in the middle because we tapped the 15-minute and dumped. Now, okay, let me just keep watching. Clearly dump, sweep liquidity. Once again, sweep liquidity, tap back into the order block, creating its own order block, then going back up. And I'm like, okay, we're bullish. I didn't take this trade. I should have took it. I hesitated on this because I was paying attention to the 1 minute too much. But then I'm like, okay, let me start marking it out. Let me start marking out what's happening. Right, sweep of liquidity, order block, went into a 15-minute fair value gap, OTE retracement back into the range. Right, so if you pay attention, boom, OTE retracement back to the order block inside of this first presented fair value gap under the 10 o'clock open. I'm like, that's the 10 a.m. power of 3 right there. Right, 10 a.m. is right here. We come below the open to continue higher, to expand higher. And then I'm like, okay, I'm watching, they boom, and I'm watching. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna keep waiting. I wanted to take a long really bad, but I'm like, nothing looks good. I'm just gonna wait. Right, then they come up here and they leave equal highs. This is a data high. This is the news that came out on Friday. I forget what it was, but there was data highs, and there's a 15-minute fair value gap right on top of it that hasn't been tapped into at all. I'm like, okay, they left buy side liquidity. There's a 15-minute point of interest. We're inside of that other 15-minute fair value gap. Then I go on the 15-minute again. Like, what could they be retracing into? Right, where's Friday? What could they be retracing into? So obviously my first two options are this fair value gap, which they clearly run through, and this fair value gap down here. They're both 15-minute fair value gaps. The first fair value gap they run straight through, and I'm like, okay, let me just keep watching. Then they dump into this 15-minute fair value gap, and I see this down close candles. I'm like, what are these down close candles? If you go on the 5-minute, you'll see it's a big down close candle, very thick down close candle, which to me is support. I'm like, okay, so they tap a 15-minute point of interest, and we're obviously generating buy side liquidity because there's unfinished business up here. So I'm like, okay, let me see what they do. They leave this fair value gap, tap this, and I'm like, all right, if they come up to this fair value gap and reject, they're still low. They're still going bearish. If they come up to this fair value gap and push through it, we're going towards those highs. And that's where I took my entry. I saw that this candle came into it, rejected it a little bit. The next candle, if it would have just opened, went up a little bit and dumped straight through, then we're bearish. This candle opened, went down, and then started to move back up. As soon as I saw it moving back up, I hit long, stopped below this low, moved it up a little bit after this long move, and then went to break even. And I think I closed like around here somewhere, but I was targeting this high. I just wanted to call it a day. I had made over $1,000 on this day, so no need to hold it. But that is basically the end of the week right there. Now I'm going to show you the account. This is what the account looks like. I had a really good day on Friday. This is Tuesday. It should have been a really good day on Thursday as well. And then Wednesday was the first day that I traded this account. And then, like I said, last month I traded this account 2 days, lost 2 days, and then I don't know why I stopped trading it after that. I don't know, but this is what the account is at. And obviously, as you can see, we're remaining $1,000 before we hit the target. And I'm gonna take it slow next week. I'm just gonna take good trades and pass it. But if you want to follow along with that, go ahead and check out my Instagram at LewisVisuals_, and even on TikTok or YouTube Shorts. But that's pretty much everything with this week. Be very careful, be very mindful of your capital with this war market, because it's not very clean. Even though it has been technically clean in some aspects, it's like it's gonna go up and then boom, like immediately just reverse, or like go up and then, or go down and then immediately just reverse. It's just chopping up and down on the higher time frame, so it's a little harder to dictate which direction it really wants to go in. I think the best thing to do is just scalp at this very moment and get your money and get out until the markets clean up a little bit more. But yeah, make sure you join the Discord, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Let me know in the comments how your week went and how your trading journey is going as a whole. Join the Discord, I already said that. Check out Tektronix PCs, use my discount code LVFLIP for 10% off, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.